a couple of things I've talked about have already come off of the Owasp top 10 list for mobile, which is a list that myself, Jack Menino, Zach Lanier, and a number of other people in the application security community collaborated on to put together this list of top 10 risks for mobile.
Yeah, Owasp is a great organization. It's OWASP.
OWASP.org.
And highly recommended for all the geeks out there who want to learn more about security in general, application security specifically. There's various projects, one that covers mobile that you mentioned, that you're involved in, and a wealth of other resources and information there. So I highly recommend that geeks out there check that out.
So one of the things, and it's actually the number 2 risk on the Owasp Mobile Top 10 is the number 2 risk is essentially weak server-side controls. So I basically just consider it a pointer to the original Owasp Top 10 for web applications, which was a widely accepted list of standard risks and vulnerabilities in web applications. It's something that other compliance organizations have taken. So, for example, PCI. To become PCI compliant, you need to be scanned and assessed based on the Owasp top 10 risks. So when we're writing these new mobile applications, we need to just remember that it's not just code going on the client anymore. It's potentially a whole new server-side infrastructure, and either a SOAP-based web service or a RESTful service, and these these new pieces of technology are ripe for attack. It's funny, when the iPads first came out, within a couple of days there was the first iPad hack, where all sorts of private details and data about the initial customers who received their iPads was made public. It was essentially publicly available on the internet. And the reason for this was essentially poor server-side controls. There was no access control on these web services that the iPad was communicating with. So people could just bypass the iPad and fire up a web browser and talk directly to the service and extract all this data. And that was labeled as an iPad hack, when really it's kind of the same thing we've been dealing with for well over a decade now. SQL injection, input validation attacks, improper authorization, lack of access control.
So what if I'm not starting from scratch? What if I'm a developer and I already have a mobile application out there, and maybe I didn't think sort of through some of these architectural or sensitive data storage on the device? Maybe I didn't think through all those issues when I was originally architecting my app. What's the first thing I should do to try to secure an existing mobile application?
Sure. I would perform a code review for security, where someone looks at the code line by line, manually, and assesses that code based on the current Owasp top 10 risks for mobile. And
so I could do this myself as a developer. You don't necessarily need to hire an expensive security consultant. I could go to the Owasp and start to work my way through the top 10 and do a code review of my own application, for example.
Certainly. I mean, something as simple as, data storage on the device. If you're storing sensitive data on the SD card. If you see yourself doing that, that's bad, because that's basically a public location on the device. Any application can access it. So yeah, I think it's certainly doable for a developer to start working through these risks and analyzing their own code.
How can the geeks reach out to you if they have questions about application security?
Sure. Well, you can always just Google me, Mike Zussman, and a number of things will pop up. My blog will pop up. You can also find me on Twitter. My handle is Schmoilito, which is not as easily spelled.
Maybe you can spell it out for us.
SCHMOILITO.
Okay, great. No, I think I always forget that last time.
Yeah.
And the name of your company is Carve Systems.
Carve Systems, yes.
Great, awesome. Well, thanks for chatting. This is good.
No, thanks, Pete.
Security is a great topic. It's something I want to cover more, like I said, in future episodes. So maybe we'll bring you back and do a deeper dive into something OAuth related, perhaps.
Sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
Great.
Thanks for having me.